Hey y'all, how's it going? And welcome back. If you are new here, my name is Jasmine Dayton. I am a writer and a reader, and on Thursdays we generally talk about what I've read last. But this week, in preparation for Halloween, I am going to be sharing with you all of these spooky stories that I have been reading and preparing for this wonderful time of year. In this video, I am going to be talking about my experience reading Coraline. I watched the movie a very long time ago, and it has been a minute since I've seen it because it was very terrifying. It was very scary. But I wanted to give the book a read because I've heard from several people while the movie is spectacular on its own, they took a lot of creative liberties with it. So I wanted to see what the original story was and what some of the differences are. Without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so apparently everyone and their mom is mood reading right now. So because of that, I could not find a single copy of Coraline in all of the Albuquerque libraries. There are 7 of them floating around, and all of them are either checked out or on hold. So I had to get the next best thing. So this is the Coraline book that is also a graphic novel. I am not sure how entirely accurate the graphic novel is to the real novel. I'm sure that the real novel is a lot more detailed, and they probably did need to leave out quite a few things in the graphic novel, but it's the best that I can do. And I know that there are a lot of scenes in here that are not in the movie. So I am hoping that I'll still be able to get a good idea of what this is all about. Although it's really bizarre to look at the pictures, I'm not sure if Coraline is described as being blonde, but inside of the caricature, she is a blonde girl, and she seems like just like so normal. Like, and I think the reason that I am surprised by that is because the one time that I saw Coraline when I was very young scared the crap out of me. Coraline is just kind of like odd and strange. But also I don't know if that is because that's what they wanted her character to be like, or if it's just, you know, classic Tim Burton. Classic Tim Burton is always just a little odd and creepy. I'm interested to read this because even though the movie itself freaked me out so much as a kid, I'm curious if the book will freak me out in the same way, because I feel like even though Coraline, the movie, was really scary, and once again, I'm basing this off of a long time ago memory when I was like 9 years old, I feel like it was more scary because of how visual it was. And I think that if I could use my own imagination, maybe it won't feel as real. And also maybe because I'm older, it'll be more of a fun experience. I'll be able to see like the symbolism of it rather than being a young girl that's like, oh my gosh, if I find a small tiny door, I might be eaten by someone that looks like my mom. I'm excited to read this. I am going on a trip soon, and I am going to have many, many hours of opportunities to read. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to be able to like rank timestamps on this because there are no page numbers in here, but I guess what I can do is I can get as far as I can during the trip and then just kind of go from there, give you an update. If I have to finish anything after that, I will let you know. I didn't realize how short some of these stories are, but honestly, it's kind of a relief after reading the 2 bigger books that I have already done reviews on. All right, I will let you know how I'm doing after the trip. Okay, I am back from my trip. Sorry you guys didn't get any traveling b-roll. I didn't think of that. But I promise I went on a very fun trip. So I read a lot of the Coraline comic book, and I didn't realize this until I was much further than 3 chapters away, but they actually have little tiny numbers on the tops of the pages of where the chapter beginning is supposed to go, and I ended up hitting chapter 5. And I feel like I'm already quite a ways into the Coraline storyline than I thought I would be, which was quite shocking to me. I didn't realize how much action was just the climax of trying to get out of, you know, like the other mother's world. That kind of threw me for a loop, and I don't know if that is entirely accurate or if that is just how the comic book is set up, because I know that it is a shorter version of what goes on. And I know that I am like comparing a lot of things with the movie already. Once again, I've seen the movie, but it was like over a decade ago. And so I am trying to remember exactly what happened in the movie, just subconsciously. So in the movie, I do remember that she finds the little door. But in the book, it seems like it is actually just a normal sized door. But it is explained previously that they all live in like one big house, but there are a bunch of other tenants that are in the house house too, so they made it into 3 different flats. And according to Coraline's mom, the flat that is right next to theirs is not occupied, and so they blocked off a wall. Nobody lives there, and also it wasn't like a little mini door like it was in the movie. I feel like that was just kind of for like quirky nuance. Or maybe that's just how it is in the comic strip. I have no idea. Once again, I have no idea how accurate the comic strip is to the actual book. I wish I could read the actual book, but alas. Also, I realized that one character is not in there at all. The boy that's around her age, where his aunt lives like in the house, or like his grandma lives in the house next door, he's not in there at all. Which I was very shocked by, because I thought that that was like a really big connecting piece for the plot from what I remember. But it's interesting because Coraline is much less obnoxious in this rather than in the film, and she's a lot more just kind of cynical. So I thought that that was kind of nice. I actually enjoyed Coraline's character a lot more in the book than I did in the movie, because in the movie you can kind of understand why her parents are a little bit bothered by her, is because she is quite obnoxious and she's constantly whining and saying, I'm bored, like all the time. Even me as a 9-year-old, when I was watching this movie, I was like, girl, you're annoying. I understand why your parents don't talk to you. But in this one, it's pretty clear that like the parents are just as non-attentive, but Coraline is also not as annoying, and she pouts a little bit more, and she does the attitude. But once again, I did get a large part of the way through than what I was anticipating, because I was just kind of reading and I wasn't really paying attention to the chapters very much. But so far, I actually like it. Because for the movie, when I first watched it, obviously I was younger, it's a much creepier movie and it's targeted towards kids. Honestly, I don't think it should be targeted towards kids because it was so scary. But maybe that was the point. But so far, I like it. It's a very interesting premise and something that I never would have thought of in a million years. And I consider myself a pretty creative person thinking outside of the box. This is like something completely different. Like an other mother? Is it the concept where like in your dreams, people that you know in your dreams often don't act like the people that they are in real life? Is that kind of like supposed to be the concept? Like it's a dreamscape? Oh, there's so many different cool theories that you could talk about with that. Anyway, I've been rambling on a really long time just about the first 5 chapters. I think that it was nice that I was introduced to the movie first. Perhaps, maybe that's why I like it a little bit more. I guess I will get back to you when I am, I'm gonna say halfway through, because this is a short book. I don't think it's going to need a third of the way through and a halfway through synopsis, because I'm pretty sure they're going to be like pages away from each other. I'll catch up with you guys then. Hey everyone, how's it going? I realized that for the past several videos, you guys have just been seeing the back of my desk. So we're gonna give you a little bit better, or at least different of a view. We get to see the pretty tapestry. All right, so I am halfway done with the Coraline book. I'm actually a little bit more than halfway done. I believe I'm on chapter 7 and there are 12 chapters in total. Oh, look, the dogs are here. Have you come to join us? Hop up. Hi. Hi guys. The gang is all here. So I read a little bit more than halfway for the Coraline book, and I'm still really liking it. It was interesting because I feel like I either don't remember or maybe I just wasn't paying good enough attention when I was watching the movie, but I feel like they explained the lore really well of why the children are trapped in the closet in the first place, the other children. And the imagery itself is very good. They kind of give little hints of perhaps the people in the apartment knowing more than what they are leading on to, which I find so fascinating because I'm like, well, what more do they know? What more are they not telling me? Because the neighbors that live in that house, even in the real world, have said some very interesting things. Like the man in the upstairs apartment keeps on talking about the rats rats, and rats play a huge role in the other world. And then also the neighbors downstairs gave her a little stone that she can see, like, you know, there's like a little hole in the stone. And to Coraline, she's like, okay, cool, rock. But then she's told by one of the ghost children, no, use that rock to help find what you need to find. So here's my question. Are the neighbors a big part of understanding what the other world is like because they have seen other children go missing? Or is it because the other mother has just made these personages similar from the real world? You know what I mean? You come up with so many different theories. You don't even know what the other mother is, really. In my opinion, I think she's just a demon. I don't think you're ever really supposed to find out or know. But that's how I'm doing with Coraline so far, and I guarantee you I could finish it today. In fact, I'm probably just gonna read it during lunch. So I will get back to you hopefully either today or tomorrow with an update on what I thought about Coraline. Hey everybody. Hey everybody, I just wanted to give a final recap of the Coraline comic book. I feel like I need to say something. Something that I realized when I was looking back at some of my footage and realized that there was something that I said that I don't quite agree with anymore. I mentioned, I think I was a third of the way through, when I said that Coraline was a lot less obnoxious in the book than she was in the movie. And I feel like I need to redact that statement because upon reading some more details of the book, I didn't really connect the dots until the very end when she mentions that after she's done, you know, defeating the bad guy, the next thing she needs to do is go to a new school. And she's less scared and worried about going to a new school because, you know, she defeated this like weird other mother demon lady. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. But the reason why I wanted to redact the statement of her being obnoxious and of her being very cynical, even if that is her personality, I think it was an unfair judgment for me to cast because I've been the new kid before. I've been the new kid at a school when I was a child 2 times. No, 3 times. So I was a new kid in 3rd grade, 4th grade, and freshman year of high school. And let me tell you, that messes with your mind. I understand that this is also just my personal experience, but I want you guys to know how absolutely traumatic it was to actually move to a new school. Some people make it look like it's so easy and like you're automatically the popular kid when you become the new kid. Not true at all. Not true at all. At least for people like me. Not true at all. So I think that it makes sense that she was really upset about moving to a new environment, moving to a new house, moving to a house where she wasn't even allowed in one of the rooms because the parents wanted to keep the furniture nice, where the parents were not paying attention to her well-being at all, being in this brand new environment. So she relied on all of her new neighbors to just kind of have her social outlet during the summertime because there weren't kids around. And that is something that is so interesting that completely differs from the movie. They put in a whole entire plot line in the movie, which I think is so cool. I can't believe that they got away with that. And not in like a bad way, but I can't believe they embedded it so well that it actually added more to the story rather than like taking the original plot away and not making it as meaningful. So overall, I loved Coraline. I almost said Caroline. Overall, I really loved the book. There are obviously some pretty big main differences from the book to the movie, but I want to save some of that commentary for the movie. And since my battery is about to die again, I'm gonna sign off. Sayonara, you guys, and I will see you next time.